All right. Listen, my name is Don Daniel, founder of Pill Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And for 16 years, we have been, oh, actually, it's 17 years now. 17 years. We've been sharing this information about how loans really work. You see, no one I know has ever had a class on how amortization actually works and how banks make their money. It is phenomenal the amount of information we do not have about that. What? Yeah, we don't have that. So we're going to be talking about it today, about understanding it the way it is, and then switching that thing around and turning it into wealth. Oh, wealth? Debt into wealth? How does that happen? We're going to talk about it. In fact, most people look at debt as stealing your wealth. I'm going to show you how you can actually use your debt to make money. What? That's right. So listen, if you're in the audience today here on Clubhouse and you'd like to stay around and listen, I'm going to ask you to do one thing for me. Raise your hand, come to the stage and listen from the stage. All right. Because when you come to the stage and listen from the stage, the people that are following you see it and they come in as well. So if you want to be a contributor as well as a learner, raise your hand, come to the stage and listen for. You don't have to say anything. You don't have to say one word. I'm going to ask you if you'd like to, but if you don't, just keep your mic silent and then I'll go on and then to the next person. So please, I see you got your Clubhouse birthday there, Sagilu. All right, I see you. Diane says she'll come to the stage and listen. All right, Sagilu, I see you have your Clubhouse anniversary, and good for you. Dawn, I see you in the place. Lila, I see you. Femi, Hannah, Zoe, Dahlia is back. Dahlia is back. Come on, Dahlia. I love it. All right. She had some good comments in the chat the other day. All right. Got Dahlia here. So folks, just come up to the stage, listen from the stage. But Diane, what's going on with you today? Do you want to say something? Because you're unmiked. So I guess not, but that's okay. You don't have to. So, but we will. There we go. We're going to mute your mic. Dahlia, how are you doing this morning? And if you can't speak, that's okay. It's quite all right.
Good morning. I'm doing very well. Good morning, guys. Good morning, everyone.
All right.
I'm so glad to be on the show again.
Well, good. Tell me, where in the world are you?
Oh, I'm in Pennsylvania, actually.
Pennsylvania.
Near Philly.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And you're in here quite often. May I ask what you do?
I'm actually in insurance. Insurance is my background. However, I have some of these loans going on. So your advices are working here. I'm actually applying it to my loan, paying off my mortgage. And I'm trying to explain it to my husband, and he still doesn't get it. I guess that light has to come up.
Right.
Well, sooner or later, eventually, it should come up.
Well, listen, I would love the opportunity to speak with you and your husband one-on-one and over Zoom or something like that, and I'll be glad to explain it.
Oh, that would be perfect. Also,
Yes.
not to interrupt the show, but
Yes.
also I would like to go over the credit cards. How does it work? When you try to pay off your credit cards, would the same way, the same method would do, or we would have to apply it a little differently?
Oh my goodness, that is such a good question. Can you give me a little bit more? Can you narrow that question down, and I'll be glad to answer it in a way that is meaningful to you.
Yes. So let's say I have $8,000 in the credit card debt, and now I pay off every month the interest. I'm just saying, I'm not sure. Let's say is 11%.
Yes.
So I'm paying off interest and just a little bit of principal, and then I prepay only principal.
Right.
So does it work to pay off the credit card? Because it seems like it's not really working, or maybe I'm not understanding it correctly.
That is a good question. So here's what we're looking at, Dahlia. Let me know this. Is the credit card the only debt, or is there other debt?
Well, there is a mortgage
Gotcha.
as well, and there's some loans, for vehicles.
Okay.
But I don't even consider these.
All right, folks, let me put this on this. So Dahlia, thank you very much for bringing this to the stage. Listen, folks, this is a part of turning your debt into wealth. So I'm so glad she brought this up. Listen, if you can watch this, go to YouTube and search P.I.L.L method, and you can see the examples we're getting ready to put on the screen. So we're going to be screen sharing here. All right, entire screen, and we want, there it is, screen 2. All right, there it is. So we're going to be bringing that up. I'm bringing up an amortization schedule. And first, so Dahlia, I need you to understand interest cost versus interest rate so we can actually understand what's going on here. So I'm going to put in $8,000 on a card here. So $8,000. And most people don't realize that when they do an amortization for a credit card, it's over 240 months. It's a 240 month amortization. It doesn't mean that they want you to take 20 years. Is that is how they figure out how much interest to pay. Now, once they do that, then each credit card company adds to that a certain percentage of your debt, of your balance, to the minimum payment. All right, because if they left it at strictly the amortization here, it would take 20 years. Let me show you what I mean here. So we're going to take 240 months, right? And the interest rate you mentioned, it was 11%. So we're putting that in. And now I'm going to show you something here that if you just left it to that, only $9.25 would go to principal and $73.33 would go to interest out of your very first payment of $82.58. But what a credit card company will do, they will add a little bit more that goes to principal, and it's not standard across the industry. Depending on which card you're working with, or which company you're working with, they will pick out how much they want to add to this $9.25 so that they can keep reusing that money. So far, so good. So here's the one thing we need to realize. When you're looking at credit card debt, you're looking at 11% and you're feeling bad, okay? But it's not 11% a month, Dahlia. It's 11% for the year. This is less than 1% a month. 12% would be exactly 1% a month. So how much is that? So when we take a look at that interest payment, if you were to pay off that $8,000 in just 1 month, I need you to see this, that the interest that you're saving, excuse me, is $73.33. $73.33. That's it. Okay. If you have other debt, you might say, how can I use this money to better benefit me? I'm going to pay the credit card company $73. Now, we have been told over the years that credit cards are evil, that credit card interest is bad. I've met so many people who have told me I never pay credit card interest, while at the same time, they're paying $800, $900, $1,000 in interest a month on their mortgage, and it doesn't even hurt. They're not even looking at it. So if I have a credit card that's costing me $73, and that hurts me because people have presented it that way, all right? We're going to be talking about the illusion of debt on Friday. Debt is an illusion. We're going to be talking about that. So the illusion that credit card debt is worse than mortgage debt. I'm wondering, Dahlia, who actually do you believe is promoting that credit card interest is worse than mortgage interest. I wonder who promotes that. Do you have an idea?
Are you talking about banks?
Listen, if I can get you to hate credit card interest, you'll leave my mortgage interest alone. And that's what we've been taught to do. So now I'm going to just give you an example here, and then I'll get right into your question. But it's understanding the basics that's important. So we're going to open up another tab here and go to Brett. Well, so we're going to put in a $300,000 mortgage at 6%. And there it is. Okay. So our payment on that is $1,798.65. I'm going to show you the difference between if I pay off the $8,000 here, okay, in 1 month. You know, people say, listen, get rid of that. Never pay credit card interest. I got $8,000. You need to pay that off at 11%. It's killing you. Okay. So I'll save $73.33. If I put that on my mortgage, the $8,000, I need you to see this. Here's cumulative principal, everybody. Let's scroll down to where we see that we've actually paid this thing down by $8,000. Because if we give the bank our regular mortgage payment and then an additional $8,000, it all goes to principal. And let me show you what happens. It knocks off over 2 years worth of payments and saves a grand total of $37,000. $37,034.36 to be exact, Dahlia. That's the first thing I want to show. All right. But if you want to pay off your credit card, then here's one thing you can do, Dahlia. Here's one thing you can do. A lot of people, Dahlia, believe it or not, have money in the bank. They've got money in the bank. And because they don't understand fungibility, that money is fungible, let's go ahead and put that on the screen. So we're going to put another tab up, and fungible, 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 and we click the meaning. All right. And let's open that up to be a little bit bigger so we can see it. Okay. Let me see. Definition and meaning of fungible being something such as money or commodity of such a nature that one part or quantity may be replaced by another equal part or quantity in paying a debt or settling an account. Okay. So what it means is that one thing can be interchanged for another. All right. Money is money. Money in your bank or money available on a credit card. Money is money that's available. So if I have $8,000 on a credit card, Dahlia, and I want to get rid of it, let's say I have more than that in the bank. And some people have more than $8,000 in the bank. But for some reason, they're reluctant. Let's say I have $18,000 in the bank. All right. And then if I take $8,000 out of the bank and pay it to the credit card and pay the credit card to zero, how much money do I have available to me to spend? I'm going to go by this one more time. I've got $18,000 in the bank. Okay. And I owe $8,000 on a credit card. I'm going to remove $8,000 from my savings account, pay off the credit card. I have $10,000 in the bank now. Credit card is paid to zero. Here's my question. How much money do I have available to me to spend? Dahlia. Are you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. And well, you still have 18,000. You have 10 in your bank account, and now you have paid off your credit card, but you still have available 8,000 in that credit card.
Exactly. Exactly. So what just happened? So if I look at my money in the bank and I look at that as being more valuable, I'm making what? 0.1% on that money? And I'm paying 11% a year on the credit card debt. So what happens is, listen, Horace Jennings says, I have 18 grand available. You're right. And he's watching us from YouTube right now. Thank you, Horace. And so, folks, here's what we're saying. You're paying to keep your money in the bank. You're paying Visa. You're paying MasterCard 11% a year to keep $8,000 in your bank that you're making 0.1% on. So here's what you could do. If you're really wanting just to pay the card off, take the money from the bank, pay the card to zero. You still have the money available to you. So here's what you do. Have this mindset. My credit card with that I owe a balance on, I'm now going to treat it as a savings account or a holding account for my money. So I'm going to put my money over here so that if I need it, I can just pull it back off later and use it. But for the time being, I'm not paying 11% to keep it in the bank. Dahlia, does that make sense to you?
It does in a way.
Okay,
Yeah,
talk to me. Talk to me then.
Yeah, so usually the main reason I want to pay off my credit card just because of my credit score. That's pretty much it. Other than that, well, and still I have monthly fees to pay for this credit card. That's it. But it does make so much sense just to have, you can have it in a bank account or you can have it as a credit, which you don't have to pay every month. I guess I don't know, but I get the idea. I'm understanding what you're saying.
Right, because at that point, you're giving yourself a raise. There's $73.33 that goes to interest on that credit card on that very first payment. So you give yourself an instant raise by paying the card to zero, taking money out of the bank, and that's $73 you don't have to spend to keep it in the bank. That's what's actually going on here. All right. All right. I got Ian Pedley. He's saying good evening. Why is he saying good evening when it's morning here? Because Ian is in Australia. Thank you for chiming in, Ian. We're glad to see you this morning. And he's watching us from Facebook. You know, Ian has a son who is who's more like me. And Ian is always showing him my stuff. Okay. Good morning to you, Ian. Good to see you, buddy. All right. So that's what we're talking about here. So if I can take that money and put it on the credit card and not pay the $73 in interest, but I still have the money available to me. All right. I still have the money available to me on the credit card. That $73 you can spend or invest somewhere else. Couldn't you, Dahlia? That you would have paid in interest.
Definitely, yes. And I think that's what I'm going to do. It's just a used lump sum to transfer it over to the credit account. And
I know, but
save
it's still
my $70 every month.
Exactly, but it's still there. It's still there. It didn't go anywhere. It's still there. Now, let's talk about your credit score. Let's talk about your credit score because you mentioned that. All right. So now, if you pay your credit card to zero, did you know you could you're going to get a bump on your credit score if your credit if your credit card is over 30 or 40% and you pay it to zero, you're going to get an eventual bump in your credit score. But if you keep it at zero, you're going to lose about 20 points after that. The next time your credit card reports, you're going to lose about 20 points because you have it at zero. You want to keep it at between 1% and 7%. That's optimum as far as the credit card companies and reporting goes, creating a credit score. Between 1% and 7%, you want to keep on that card because that's the sweet spot. And then you'll get those 20 points back. Now, let's talk about why we want to have a great credit score, Dahlia. So why is it important to you? Miss Dahlia, why is a credit score important to you? Can you talk to us about it?
Uh, I'm sorry, I missed the question because I was just putting my son on the bus.
Oh, that's quite all right. That's quite all right. The question is, having a credit score is it seems to be important to you. So tell us, why is a credit score important to you?
I'm looking to buy my investment property. So I'm trying to, do my first investment. And that's why I'm trying to obtain the second mortgage. And that's pretty much it.
Okay, so folks, let me tell you something. If you have a credit score, let's say between like 690 and 730, okay, 690 and 730, you're going to get that. That is going to be a very decent credit score. But it is your credit profile that matters. Your credit profile. You may want to get with it a credit expert and talk about your credit profile. Pull your credits, pull your credit profile from a reputable source, or you can go straight to the three reporting agencies and get your credit report. Okay, and then the things you want to look for are, do they have multiple addresses for you? If they do, you want to get that one address on there that where you're living now and get rid of those other addresses. Is there a different iteration of your name that's on there? So some may have Dahlia and your middle name and your maiden name. And then some may have all of that and a married name. Then they may have just a middle initial for your name. And all of those are appearing on your credit score, on your credit report.
And actually, I've done it, and it is indeed. I have one. My last name is just spelled incorrectly, and they consider it as a last name. And then I have my previous maiden last name on the report. Yep, you're right.
You want to remove all of that. You want to say, okay, this is who I am across all the credit agencies. You want to be this one person. All right. So that when you apply for the credit, you want to be electronically approved. Does that make sense? So sometimes, have you ever applied for credit and within a few seconds you got the credit? Because you've got that you've got electronic or AI underwriting. When the AI gets confused as to how many people are there, how many addresses do I'm dealing with, that's when it kicks over to let somebody else, a human being, have to take a look at what's going on to approve your credit request. So when you fix your credit profile, you can even get a book on it. All right, fix your credit profile, and then you're able to get more electronic or AI approvals when you apply. Does that make sense, Ms. Dahlia?
It does make sense because that's what actually I'm working on right now. I just sent out the letter, like used AI, send out the letter asking to fix my credit. Since the report is incorrect, I'm being reported that I have two late fee credit cards, which actually are paid off and closed. But on my credit report, it shows like they are late fees. So I'm trying to remove it. I also added to the letter my proof of my address, my driver's license, copy of my driver's license with my correct last name, correct address. And so I'm hoping everything to be fixed.
Excellent, excellent. So now that's what you need. That's more important. Your credit profile and what makes up your credit score is more important. Time that you've had credit is a certain percentage. The different types of credit that you have is a certain percentage. The amount of the usage that you have, how high is the usage of your credit? That has something to do with your credit score. All of those things matter. But I'm telling you, Dahlia, as far as credit score is for me, what's important to me is that I get approved. A lot of people want a great credit score so that they get a lower interest rate. And we're going to be talking about that today and on Friday, that interest rate is overrated. You need to be focused on interest cost and how you can eliminate it. What's going to put you in the best position to get rid of interest on the amount of credit that you're actually using? All right. And for the most part, I don't care about interest rate. The higher interest rates actually will end up saving you more money if you apply interest cancellation techniques. All right. If you apply interest cancellation techniques. So, Ms. Dahlia, if you would, I've got a basic video that I did, I don't know, back in 2010, way back when. I've got another one. If you will hit me up on Instagram, I will send you a link to that so you don't have to search for it. Let your husband watch that. And then I take it step by step to see. And then maybe that will help him to understand interest cancellation and how it works. The other thing that we're doing, Ms. Dahlia, is you can actually save more money by using our AI system once you understand how all of this comes together, and how AI will let you know how much money to pay, what month to pay it in, what day of the month to pay it on, and which loan to attack so that you can optimize your interest savings. So what it comes down to is this: pay more interest, stay in debt longer. Pay less interest, get out of debt faster. And how we go about paying less interest isn't anything like we've been told. How to manage debt, 99% of it actually keeps us in debt longer. What we're doing here at the P.I.L.L method is telling you the truth and how you can configure the debt, how to set it up properly with the right interest rate, with the right timing, with the right terms. Okay, you want to have the right term for you. Everything has to do with what you can do, and when you set it up correctly, you can manage that debt so it costs you the least amount of interest that's mathematically possible. And when you're saving that money in interest, so you're getting ready to purchase another house, all right, and an investment house. So, but when you borrow money from the bank, they're buying your equity in that house. So what you're trying to do by getting a loan is purchase that equity back from them. How much is it going to cost you to purchase that equity back? You want to make sure you're getting your equity 5 to 7 times faster at 75 to 80% off the interest cost. That's even after you close the loan. That's what's important, folks. Let me show you something here about all of this. Miss Dahlia, did we take care of your questions today? Because I don't want to move on before we answer all your questions.
Sure, more than I expected. I'm also trying to get in touch with you on Instagram as well. And yes, I'll go back to YouTube and watch the video one more time. Thank you so much, Daniel. You are the star.
Thank you so much, Miss Dahlia. Thank you so much from Pennsylvania. All right, folks. So Miss Dahlia just came up. She's watching everything from the stage and listening. So if you're in Clubhouse right now, come to the stage and listen from there. Just raise your hand. All right. You can find that little hand there on the lower right-hand side. Raise your hand, come up to the stage and listen from the stage. When you do that, what you're doing is that everybody who's following you can see that you're on the stage, and they may come in to see, oh, what is What is Renita doing? What's Limon doing? And Giovanni and Saeed? What are they doing? What are they listening to? All right, because I see them in there. They'll come in and see what's going on and get some information. I see Adriana. Glad to see you here. I see Hannah and I see Michael. All right, folks, we got some people who are online as well. We got several people watching us online. Everybody, just click in and tell us where you're listening from, whether you're in Clubhouse or if you're on YouTube or Twitter or LinkedIn or whatever you're on online. Go ahead and tell us where you're from. Ian, we know you're from Australia, but anybody else, go on ahead. And Horace, where you're from. So we want to click in on that. Zoe says good morning. Lila Wilkins says good morning. She says, I have a meeting in 10 minutes and can't stay long. But Lila, I am so glad that you're here. Horace is from Virginia. And thank you very much for logging in here. Christy Hambright, what are you doing? She says, good morning in Killing, Alabama. Christy, it's so good to see you. All right. Listen, I actually see people are listening in the background, and I don't know who's listening all the time, but it's people I actually know. So I am so glad to see you here. So folks, let's talk about this. Let's talk about how we can ice your debt using interest cancellation, expert information, ice your debt and turn it into wealth. I have an amortization schedule here. And so what we're taking a look at is purchasing. If you have a mortgage, you're purchasing your equity. All right. So somebody else is coming in from North Carolina. I see you. It says, it says, hey, Kells, hey. I think that's what it says. She's coming in from North Carolina. Good to see you here this morning. All right. So here's what we have, folks. So when you have $300,000 that the bank purchases for you, all right, and we're going to get into how that all happens in just a minute. So the bank is purchasing that $300,000 house for you, and you're buying it back from the bank. That's what happens, all right? You're buying it back from the bank, but you're buying it back a little bit at a time. Out of all of your payment, that your mortgage payment, at 6% on $300,000, you're buying it back at $298.65 a month. The next month is $300. So every month you're buying the equity back, and you're paying about $300 a month every month to buy that equity back. But the cost of purchasing that equity starts out at $1,500. So somewhere between $1,500 and $1,490 every single month just to be able to buy your equity back at $300 a month. Folks, you tell me, should we start paying attention more to what we're paying to purchase equity? Because that's what's going on here. Do you want to pay $1,500, $1,497, and even on the 12th payment, that is your final payment in the first year on this mortgage, you're paying you're buying your equity back $315.49, and you just paid $1,483.16 to purchase this much equity. Over the first year, it cost you, you're paying down your loan. You just purchased $3,684 of your equity back. All right. So now you own it. Okay. But the bank charged you $17,899.80 in interest for the privilege of you purchasing $3,684 worth of your equity. Now, let me know if you think that's too much. Do you think $17,899 is too much money to pay to purchase $3,684 worth of equity? You tell me. Maybe I'm misunderstanding something here. All right. Adrienne says, good morning from Chicago. I got cousins in Chicago. All right. My wife used to work in Chicago and live there. All right. Good for you this morning, everybody. So tell me, is that too much to pay? $17,899.80. So if that money, and we get so used to paying it every month, I need folks to listen in here. This is how we're going to ice your debt and turn it into wealth. Understand this concept. We are conditioned to do this so much so that we will argue for continuing it to happen. We'll argue for this because we have been taught to do it this way. It is so, people are so incredulous when they hear about interest cancellation. They said they can't believe it. It sounds too good to be true. It can't be that way. And then people ask me all the time, will the banks let me do this? What? It's your right to do this. So if it's going to cost, let me my goodness, to purchase $3,684 worth of interest. Okay. I'm sorry, of your principal back, of your equity. If it's going to cost $17,899, it has to be over 12 months. You have to do this in 12 months for it to cost you this much money. So if you pay the bank back, if you're buying your equity back monthly, that's what it costs. Period. That's what it costs you monthly to do that. And it's costing you $17,000 to do that. So I want to purchase something, but I want to purchase it on sale. I want to go buy some tires. I need you all to help me out here. All right. Dahlia says, Dahlia, thank you very much. She says, since I understand the P.I.L.L method, it is so painful to make that monthly mortgage payment. I try to prepay at least 2 to 3 payments every month. Dahlia, I understand what you're trying to do, but even that, you're not saving as much interest as you could with that same amount of money. Please contact me on Instagram. Let me show you how to get a bigger bang for your buck. All right. All right. So there is a methodology. I know I can't go into everything online because it just takes too much time. But if we can talk in person, I'll be glad to show you how you can take smaller amounts of money and actually kill more interest per dollar. Ooh, that is the key to making more money. So folks, we got 13 people online. We have some people here on Clubhouse. Go ahead, share the room with people. Come to the stage and listen from the stage. I see Steve is back in here again. Steve, why don't you come up to the stage and listen from the stage? I see Hannah. Hannah, you've been here before. I'm going to invite you to come to the stage. I know it says we're inviting you to speak, but just come to the stage and listen from there. That will help us out to grow the room. Go ahead and share the room with everybody. Let me see if I have any other comments in here. Grand Rising, Steve, Grand Rising to you. All right. Adrian says, okay, has something, invite to speak. Thank you very much. Come on up. Listen from the stage. And listen, folks, if you're just new to the stage and you do have something to say or have a question, just unmic and ask your question or make your comment. All right. Adrian, Steve, either one of you have anything to say or you just want to listen? That's quite all right. You can continue to listen. I love the fact that you're here on the stage. You're bringing people in. I say, John just came in. So John, folks, here's what we're saying. I want to buy a set of tires. And the tires, once I get them all, balanced and everything, and I get the road hazard, and they're going to cost me about $800 or $1,000. I want to get the best tires I can for my car. All right. Because, my wife and I ride in that car. So we want to be safe. So it's going to cost me $1,000 to get the tires replaced, mounted, balanced, road hazard on the tires, everything. $1,000. Okay. So now I get a coupon. If I get the same tire from another store, it's 50% off. I'm going to ask you, if I can get the same tire, the same type of service for 50% off, should I go ahead and use the coupon to buy the tires at $500, or should I just continue to go to that same store and pay $1,000 for it? What should I do? Should I use the coupon or not? You tell me. All right. Come on, folks. Put something in the chat here. Should I use the coupon or pay them $1,000? Let's see what everybody is saying. All right. Some folks are coming in here. They're saying what? What are they saying? All right. All right. Use the coupon. Yes. Steve says, yes, use the coupon. Get the 50% off. Okay. So this, and Zoe says, yes, I should use the coupon. Horace Jennings online says, yes, use the coupon. Adrian says, coupon now. Use the coupon. All right. And so, folks, here's what I'm saying. Would you look at me differently? Would you say that was a bad move if I didn't use the coupon? I got a coupon. I can get the same tire. I can get the same thing for $500 instead of $1,000. John Ford said that would be a very bad move. A very bad move. All right. So here's a thank you for that, John. So listen, John, if you want to listen, come to the stage. You can listen from the stage. You don't have to say anything if you don't want to. Just raise your hand. I'm going to invite you up since you commented. All right. Let's invite John up to speak. All right. You don't have to say anything, but just listen from the stage. I'm just trying to fill my stage up. All right. Hey, good morning, John. Can you talk, or are you at work or something? He probably can't talk, but that's okay. That's all right. So anybody can talk. You want to ask a question, interrupt me at any time. I appreciate you being on the stage. Saeed says, let me come up and be on the stage too. All right. So let's bring him up and see if he has a question or a comment. All right. So I'm trying to invite him up. All right. There you go. All right, folks. All right. So Saeed is now up. Saeed, do you have a question or comment this morning, or are you just listening in from the stage? All right, Steve, you've unmiked. What do you got, man?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, man. What's up? What are you up to today?
Oh, man, the usual, just cleaning. Hey, that was very informative with the trip.
Oh, the Matrix.
About going over there probably next year.
The Matrix has you. What would you say, Steve? Try one more time.
I said congratulations on the trip. Glad to see you made it back safely.
And
you exposed me to a lot in Dubai.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Listen, we were trying to tell people, listen, we just came back from Dubai. My wife and I spent a week there. We saw some fabulous things. We saw the Miracle Garden. We went to the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world. We went there. We did a desert safari. Man, listen, I'm driving a dune buggy. All right. And my wife is trying to take a video of me driving the dune buggy. So we put all that up. Listen, we went to a desert feast. I mean, they treated us like royalty. What else? We stayed in a 5-star hotel. We flew over on business class. I mean, we got to lay down. They made up our beds for us. So we got to lay down and sleep to going to Dubai and coming back. So it was a fabulous, fabulous experience. So folks, what we want you to know is by not spending money on interest, you can have experiences like that. That was the whole purpose of this thing, using money that would have gone to the bank, but we're using it to spend on an experience. So I'm going to show you how you can use this money to build wealth instead of giving it to the bank. So just like I want to buy my tires at 50% off, I want to get my tires at 50% off. Let me show you how you can get your equity at a discount. Now watch this. All right. So if you're new to the stage and you want to see what I'm doing, go to YouTube and search for P.I.L.L method and click on the live. All right. And then you can actually, if YouTube is trying to get you to watch a commercial, Then in 5 seconds, you can skip the commercial. How about that? Okay. So here's what we're doing. It cost in 1 year, it cost $17,899.80 in interest just to purchase $3,684 worth of your equity back from the bank. That's how much you paid the loan down by, $3,684. Here's my question to you. Since I'm going to eventually give the bank back, I'm paying back this loan, I'm eventually going to give them back $3,684. I have to do that because I borrowed the money or they're going to come and take the house. So my question to you is, do I have to pay that in 12 monthly installments? Do I have to pay the $3,684? Do I have to purchase my equity in 12 monthly installments? I need you to say yes or no. $3,684 is how much principal I would pay down in a year using the bank's schedule. Do I have to pay that in 12 monthly installments? John Ford says no. John Ford says he's also at work listening in. Thank you very much for being here, sir. Steve Mack says no. All right. So you do not have to. I'm just saying now, I'm not saying that this is how what we do with the P.I.L.L method. I'm just using these examples as a teaching tool to get you to understand the basics of how we can turn debt into wealth by compartmentalizing what we're actually doing when we are using our credit optimally. All right, getting the biggest bang for your buck. Now watch this. I'm getting the loan. Okay, the bank has bought $300,000 for me, bought my house, and I'm buying it back from the bank. All right, piece by piece. So the way that they got this thing set up is that I'm paying a little bit of principal every single month to get this equity. Now, there's no rule that says I can't give them the $3,684 in 1 month. I could give it to them in 1 month and be paid down to line 12 on my amortization schedule in 1 month. If I did that, oh, you know, I got to bring the calculator up. I got to put the calculator on the screen. Okay, putting the calculator on the screen. So if I gave them the $3,684 in 1 month, let's see what that would do. I start out at $300,000. I'm putting $300,000 on here. And then I'm going to subtract $3,684. Okay, subtract $3,684. Okay, equals $296,316. Folks, that is the same number that's here on line 12, right there, $296,316. So if I give the bank this all at one time, then I'm paid down to here in 1 month, which means I only have to pay 1 month's worth of interest to get the same amount of equity. Just like I buy the tires, I can buy those tires at $1,000, or I can give them $500 and a coupon. Boom, and get the same tires, get the same value for less money. Ooh. So if I give them this in 1 month, guess how much interest I have to pay? $1,500 to give them this money. But if I do it according to their timing, their schedule, it will cost $17,899.80. How much money did I just save by purchasing my equity this way, giving it to them in 1 month instead of over 12 months? I just saved $16,416.64. Folks, my trip cost less than that, way less than that. If you could get the same amount of equity in your house for $16,000 less, that means that $16,000 you will not have to pay the bank. take a look at the total amount of interest they want on this thing. They want $347,514 in interest. You just put yourself in a position to pay $16,000 less. They won't get $16,000 of this money. Just like that. So my question to you is, if you had $16,000 that you didn't have to give to the bank, what would you do with it? What would you do with $16,000? Put it in the chat. Put it in the comments if you're online. What would you do with $16,000 extra dollars you didn't have to give the bank? Oh my goodness. If I could get those tires at $500, if I could get those at $500 instead of $1,000, so that means that's $500 I didn't have to spend. I could take that $500 and do something else with it. Oh my goodness, I could buy something else. I could go on an experience. So some people are saying I could apply that money, that extra money, to the loan over time. Yeah, you could. If I could get there, see, listen, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about this one fact, that if I use the bank's timing and pay every month, there's no doubt about it. It's going to cost me $17,899.80 to purchase this much equity. And now that you know you don't have to pay that much money to purchase this equity, does it make sense to keep using the bank's timing in using use the bank's timing in purchasing my equity back? Let me give you a greater example here. I'm going to take, let's just say, we can take the $347,000, $347,514. That's how much interest they want on this loan over 30 years. It's actually more. It's actually more than the principal borrowed. It's like buying one house for them and one house for me. Let me ask you folks, anybody interested in buying one house for the bank as you're buying one house for you? Anybody interested in that? All right, John Ford says he would invest that money. Okay, Steve Mack says, no, I'm not trying to buy a house, one house for the bank while I'm buying a house for me, but this is what we've been used to. So John Ford says he would invest that money. So folks, here's what I'm talking about. If you could get the same equity for $16,000 less, what if you track that money and say, I didn't have to spend it, but if I would have spent it, it would have gone to the bank. Now that I didn't spend it to get the same equity, let me invest it. Listen, folks, if I bought those tires at $500 off, and I was fully able to pay the $1,000 for the tires, would it be smart for me to invest the $500, John? Okay. Anytime you get a savings, what if we invested everything that we saved? Every time we used a coupon, every time we got an opportunity to get a discount, what if we would take that money and invest that money, no matter if it's a small amount or a large amount? Dahlia says, my concern is, thank you, Miss Dahlia. My concern is if I could pay cash, I wouldn't have to choose paying a mortgage. Most of us don't have the extra cash to prepay. Miss Dahlia, very good observation. All right, folks, she brings up an observation here, and I love the fact that she's bringing it up. How many of you want to know that you don't need extra cash to take advantage of this? How many of you want to know how you can prepay, save interest, but use your same budget? Anybody want to know that? Anybody want to know how that's done? Oh, Dahlia says, me. Anybody else want to know how you can use your current budget and do this? Oh my goodness. Ian Pedley says, yes, he wants to know. All right. So let's bring that up. I'm going to put that on the screen. Listen, folks, you are helping me this morning get this message out by your comments. So keep commenting. All right. Keep raising your hand. Keep wanting to come to the stage and share this room. I love the fact that we have people here online and in Clubhouse. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to bring up our opportunity cost calculator, the OCC, all right, which I mentioned in my book. All right. Let me see. We're going to bring up a demo here, and then we're going to go over how John and Rebecca Jones take advantage of their budget. Okay. All right. Let me see here. Let me close all of this out. We're going to refresh this, bring up my program, and there we go. All right. So I need you all to see this. Uh-oh. It's time for a break. Kurt Nugent, do you know how much we appreciate you? Kurt Nugent said, Don, you've gone on almost an hour and you haven't mentioned some of the things that people can do here. Before we get into this next example, folks, I need to mention the book. All right. The book that started this whole thing, this whole revolution to getting the information out for people. This is the only book, The Pill Method, A Better Way to Eliminate Debt, is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that talks about this subject. I'm going to pin my link to the top of the page, ice10k.com. All right. And there is a link there. There's a link there that you can purchase the book from. It'll take you straight to Amazon. All right. And this book will give you the basics and a list of tools that you need to save this kind of money so you could turn it into wealth. All right. That is one thing. Also on this same card, that I have put up, we're going to put it in online too. Put it in the comments. ICE, okay, ICE 10K, and it's on the scroll too. All right, so it's got it scrolling. ICE10K.com. Okay, ICE10K.com. There it is. All right, so we have it there for you all over the place. ICE10K.com. You'll also see get a savings and earnings report. We're talking about saving a ton of money here and then turning it into wealth. Okay. You can get a savings and earnings report by filling out the information, and then you can know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, how much interest you can save. And then we're going to do a earnings report and give you a very good idea on how much money that can grow to the money you're not spending at the bank. Oh man, we have some clients who are working W-2 jobs with the amount of money that they're saving in interest and properly invested can turn into over $1 million. And folks, the numbers that we use are very conservative when I'm saying that, because we're using as a multiplier a 1% return on their money. That is how powerful this is. Even at a 1% return on their money, a lot of my clients are able to earn $1 million or almost $1 million extra dollars by putting the money that they would have given to the bank into an investment. That is how powerful this is. So, Dahlia, you asked a question. All right. And so let's go ahead and put this on the screen. All right. We're going to put this on the screen and show you what's going on. People don't have extra money, but they do. People don't have extra money, Dahlia, but they do. So here's what we're looking at. If you track your income, so people say, I don't have extra money. Here is one thing that I've never seen in 17 years of helping people to understand this. I've never seen where people who are making money and paying their bills pay exactly the amount of money that they've made to pay their bills. So if they're bringing in $4,000 a month or $5,000 a month or even $10,000 a month, whatever they're bringing in, I've never seen it work out to it costs exactly $5,000 a month to pay the bills. Never. I've never seen it. Okay. If you make 5,000, I've never seen it where it costs exactly $5,000 to the penny to pay the bills every month. Never seen it. Okay. They either have money left over, that's number one, or they're spending more money than they make, period. One of the two. I've never seen it come to exactly that amount. Never. So here's John and Rebecca Jones. Let me show you how we're doing this. If you track that money that you're making and spending, like John and Rebecca Jones here, let me blow this up just a little bit on the screen. Okay. So here is their budget. We're going to go into see how they're doing it. John makes biweekly $950. Okay. And Rebecca makes her income weekly $700 a week for a total. All right. They're averaging about $5,091.66. That's their average. Okay. Over, because some weeks have, some months have more weeks. All right. In them. So anyway, so over a 52-week period, their average is $5,091.66 a month. Here are their monthly expenses. That's their electric bill, that's their mortgage, that's TV, that's insurance, that's everything, that's money they set aside just to have some fun every month. Okay. Here's their monthly expenses for the month because they're tracking them. They're putting into this program how much they're spending every month. $3,760.39. That's what it costs them to live on average. And on average means they have $1,331.28 left over. So Miss Dahlia, after they take care of everything, they have a little over $1,300 left over that they're putting in their savings account. So far, so good. Miss Dahlia, does that make sense? All right. She says she has my book here. Thank you very much for buying my book. All right. So folks, once we establish that, okay, how much money is left over? This is called discretionary income. Discretionary income. And by using the discretionary income, that's after you've paid all the bills. Here's how this works. So we go into the program and we're reporting to the program this. Let me reset the entire thing because I've reset this account and use this template, right? Because this is a demo. And so we're using a very simple demo here. This is John and Rebecca Jones. I showed you how much money they make. I show you how much money they spend on a regular basis. Sometimes they spend more, sometimes they spend less, but the average is having about $1,300 left over every month. And this is how the program works. When John gets paid, we're going to go back 3 months to January. All right. John gets paid on the 1st of January, $950. So when he gets paid, that money is direct deposited into the bank. He just tells the program, I just made $950. All right. So we go in, we tell the bank, we tell the program that we made $950. See there? It disappeared from the screen. All right. Because we're tracking everything they're making and everything that they're spending. So if we go to the accounts tab, we can see that now he has $1,450 in their bank account. All right. That's in their checking account. They started out with 500. Now they have 1,450 because John just got paid. All right. And this program now matches exactly what he has in the bank because he told the program how much he made. It's that simple. Now, what's the next thing? Oh, now we have to pay $200. Oh, we got to pay the mortgage. All right. If they have enough money in the savings account now to in their checking account to pay the mortgage. So when they write the check for the mortgage for $1,199.10, then then that money will be withdrawn from their checking account. Okay. And then we have to withdraw the same amount from our virtual account here online. So we're subtracting that. And now he has $200 to pay for the utilities. All right. So we're going to pay $200 for the utilities, but guess what? He doesn't have to pay $200 this month. The utility bill is only $150. So the program says you plan to pay $200, but now you didn't pay $200. You only paid $150. So what does the program do with this extra $50? That is what the program does. It says, now take that $50. We're going to calculate your interest savings with that $50. How much interest will that $50 save you? And so here's what happens. We're going to tell the program we paid that. And now I want to scroll down here and show you something. Do you see these little arrows in the middle of the screen here? The program now goes to work and says, out of everything you have to pay and all the money that you're making, at this point, you have $150 in your checking account you don't need for anything else. So the program is asking you, take that money from the checking account and put it in the savings account. $150.90. Miss Dolly, are you seeing that? So John and Rebecca Jones, they're not coming up with an idea and says, I want to put X amount of dollars on my mortgage or on my bills every month. This program will say, here's the amount of money that we need to save. Let's put it in savings. And then they're going to pay their phone bill. Rebecca gets paid another $700. And by the time that happens, Miss Dahlia, then in their savings account, the program is saying take money from checking and put it into savings, $588.72. That's money they don't need for anything else because we're tracking the income and the outcome. Ms. Dahlia put a big heart up there. Thank you so much for that. See, we made it easy, Ms. Dahlia. We made it easy. And here's what you also will see here. We paid the minimum amount on the mortgage this month. They also have a Visa that they're going to pay minimum amount on. They're just going to make the minimum payment on the Visa. They have a car loan. They're going to make the minimum payment on the car loan. Okay. And they're just going to pay all their bills and make all their income for the month. Right. And then the next month, we're going into February. They're going to do the same thing. Make the minimum payment on the mortgage, minimum payment on the car loan, and continue to put money away into savings after they pay their bills. So Don, when are they going to put money on debt? Well, let's go back here to the top of the screen where you can see how much money that the program is predicting that John and Rebecca Jones will have. They start out in January, but they will have $3,170 in their savings account that they didn't need for anything else. Watch this. And they'll be able to put it on debt because it was sitting in the savings account. Paid all of their bills and had some fun. All right. So how do they have fun? Like this. Look at this. They have an unitemized budget of $1,300 that they could spend. So part of that money in there is money that they have set aside every single month just to do stuff they want to do. It's all in the budget. So even after that, there's money left over that can be put away in the savings account. And then the program says by March 9, they should be able to have $3,170. Now, what happens between January 1st and March 9 if something happens that costs them more money? Then the program will instantly recalculate and say, you don't have $3,000 you can put on debt. You can put something else on the debt besides the $3,000. Okay, because the program is constantly changing with you. All right, it's a dynamic program. All right, folks. So once we get down here, let's scroll all the way down to March and see what happens. Ooh, this is what's happening. So we're putting more money away in savings, more money away in savings, and then the program says, March 9, we're going to, because we have so much money in the bank right now, we're going to take, and folks would say, you were paying minimum payments on the Visa card? Are you crazy? Nope. Crazy like a fox. So now the program is saying, take the money out of the savings, pay this to the Visa in 1 month, and pay it to zero. Boom, out of the savings account. Do you see what's happening here? Save it up and then hit the debt with a big hammer. Okay, not at teeny tiny bits every month and take a year to pay it off. Pay it off in 1 month. Right. So now here's what we're doing with that. When we do that, the program will calculate our interest savings. Let me blow that up just a little bit. Here it is. Future interest savings, $1,736.34 in interest money they don't have to pay. All right, watch this. So once we get that done, we just save this much interest because we paid that credit card off all at one time. Now, where did the rest of the money go of the $3,000? Let's get back down to March and see. Oh, we're going to put $1,166.97 on the mortgage. When we do that, we just found out we can save $5,675.21 in interest from taking money from the savings account. Now they actually have more money. They actually have more money on the savings account. All right, they have more money in their savings account, but they're only using a specific amount. This specific amount is the least amount of money they can put on the mortgage that they have to save the maximum amount of interest per dollar applied. This is the optimum amount of money. No more, no less. They want to put this exact amount on the debt because when they do the figuring, all right, so we're going to put the calculator up. This is what the program is designed to do. We have $5,675.21 in interest savings. We divide it by what we paid to get it, right? Prepaid. We paid divided by $1,166.97. All right, we're going to divide it by that. It equals $4.86. So by putting this much money on, they're able to save $4.86 for every dollar. If they put any other amount on, they will save less money per dollar than this. Whether it's more money or less money, it would be less than $4.86 and all of these other numbers combined. So what the program is doing is saying, what is the minimum amount that you can save the most amount of money per dollar? And then once we do that, folks, once we figure that program figures that out, then it starts the process all over again. By making these payments in March. Okay. When we make those payments in March to the credit card, to the mortgage, then it starts it all over again. Saving another $440 and continuing on. It is amazing how we can continue to do this. Now, let me show you something, what they plan to do with this money. I'm going to go to another part of the program. Okay. They're supposed to be out of debt. By, let me see, payoff date. September 12, 2030. That's 7.7 years. Okay. Here's how much debt they have. They have a auto loan of $25,000 at 4%. They have a Visa, $2,000 at 21%. They have a mortgage of $200,000 at 6%. Okay. So they're going to be done with this in 7.7 years and save $179,000 in interest. So let's go to the reports and see what could happen. Okay. We're going to go to budget. No, we're going to go to net worth, and see how we can grow that net worth. And I need you to see wealth accumulation. Okay. Wealth accumulation. Now see, remember this date, 2030. All right. So by the time they're out of debt, okay, in 7 years, they can start that same money that they saved, they can start putting it away and earning extra money with it. Let me show you what John and Rebecca Jones could do in the first year, the second year, the third year, just by using that money they didn't spend on interest, just 10 years after they've paid off everything to 2040. Look at here, $383,000 they're using to build wealth with the money they're no longer paying in interest. The money that they saved, they said, well, why don't we go ahead and see about investing that $179,000 we just saved? They could do it in small increments, okay? And then put that, but this is showing you a 1% return on the money. 1% return on the money. Ian Pedley is putting something in here. What does he have to say from Facebook? He's watching us from Facebook. He says, hi, Don. Can you send me a link to this recording? I'd like to show a client. Oh, Ian, you watching it on Facebook? It's always going to be there. It's not going to go away. It's permanent. You have the link already. That's what's great about watching us on Facebook. Go to the P.I.L.L Method Facebook channel on the P.I.L.L Method Facebook page, and it's there. It's always, and then the other 200 some are there too. All right. So thank you. So Ian is a mortgage professional in Australia, and he loves sharing this with his clients. Okay. So now 347,000, that's 383,000. That's 10 years in. Okay. And so what did they save? They paid off in 7.7 years. Let's call it 8 years. Okay. 22 years in. By the time everybody else has paid off their debt, they just saved a little over 22 years. Let's take a look at 2052, when they were supposed to be out of debt. I'm going to scroll down to 2052 right here. 2052. If they take that money that they saved and invest it, by the time that they were supposed to be out of debt in 2052, they have a potential earnings of $827,936.89, and that is a 1% return on their money. That's just a 1%. What if they've got an average of 6 or 7 or 10% earnings on their money over that 22-year period? They were supposed to be paying off this house. House is done. What are they going to do with that money now that they saved? Turn it into, and in this case, folks, if a 1% return will get them $827,000, if they averaged even 2 or 3%, that's well over $1 million growing their wealth using somebody else's money that they contracted to pay. They signed the loan, but now they're going to get they're going to pay the bank about 75% less interest to purchase the same asset. Oh man, that's not to mention. Okay, let's go back. Remember, Their mortgage is $200,000. That's their equity. What if they paid that off? Now they have the equity. They owe nothing on it. And will their house continue to increase in value over time, over those 20 years? What if they want, now they don't have to do this, but they can. What if they decided to reap some of that equity and invest that money as well? So Ian is putting in here, says, Don, can you simulate using some of the interest savings and applying it to borrowing for investment properties? Oh my goodness. Are we continuing to grow wealth here or not, ladies and gentlemen? So Don says, he says, what can we do? What can we do here? What can we do here with that money that we have built up in equity? Can we go to our friendly neighborhood Ian Pedley and get what we call here in the US a HELOC, a home equity line of credit? Now in Australia, they use lines of credit all the time. Okay, they use it all the time. What if we, and some of these things are called offset accounts in Australia. But anyway, so we have a bit of money that we can use that is potential money. So once you get a line of credit set up, then you have a certain amount of money that's available to use. It's like a big old credit card. So now they are investing their money that they used to pay on the mortgage. They're investing that. But what if they wanted to take out some of their equity and invest that too? So Don, why would they do that? Because when you can borrow money and pay that little amount of interest, that creates what's called an effective interest rate, when you can pay it off that fast and save a ton of interest. So most of my clients have what's an effective interest rate of 1% or less. 1% or less, the effective interest rate. Because if we can borrow that money from the bank and invest it and making 7 to 12% interest return on our money, okay? Well, let's say 6 to 10, okay? If you could make 6 to 10% return on your money compounded annually, that is an amazing amount of money. And watch this. I pay the bank back for using their money to make 6 to 10%, but I pay them back with an effective interest rate of 1% or less. Folks, is that called leveraging? Is that called leveraging? How we can do that? Oh my goodness. What if they use it to purchase, watch this, make down payments? They take some of that money and make down payments on income property. Oh, now they can take that out and not put it on one, but maybe 2 or 3 income properties that are now creating passive income between $500 to $1,000 a piece. Using that equity, gaining more equity on their 3 new properties, okay? And so now they're building their net worth on the house that they have and the other 3 houses they just purchased from the equity from the first house. And when you take a look at the equity and when you take a look at the net worth, they can have, if they have the one house of that's probably worth 300 to 350 now, they have another house that's worth $150 to $200,000, and 2 more houses that go along with that. Do you see how you can grow your net worth using money that used to go to the bank? Use that debt, ladies and gentlemen, and turn it into wealth. Christy Hambright has something to say about all of this. She's watching us from YouTube this morning. Christy, what do you have to say? Can I read it? Can I read it, Christy? She says, just wanted to say, life has been hitting me hard lately. Unexpected expenses could normally freak me out. But with the program, now I didn't want to say that Christy Hambright was one of our clients because we protect her information. But when she says it, I can talk about it. Here's what she says. Unexpected expenses would normally freak me out. But with the program, she's talking about the P.I.L.L method, opportunity cost calculator, I can see years of debt-free only increased by 1%, 1/10. Listen, you see here that John and Rebecca Jones are supposed to be out of debt in 7.7 years. Christy Hambright says that because of this program, the unexpected expenses that she's incurred would normally freak her out. But because she has the program, it's like John and Rebecca Jones going from 7.7 years to 7.8 years to being out of debt. What? 1/10. It only increased getting out of debt by 1/10. Wow, wow, wow. Christy, I love that you were here and to tell us that today. She says it's calming to know I can catch up for lost time later. You better believe it, because the program is going to get you right back on track as soon as possible. You don't have to think about it, folks. You just tell the program how much you're making and how much you're spending, and then it will then give you a track to run on. Move this much money in this month, on this day of the month, out of your savings account, kill this much interest, and you'll be out of debt here. Wow, wow, wow. Horace Jennings says, what coupon? Just joining. Okay. All right. Save Money wants to know. Save Money. We were talking about if I was to buy tires, at $1,000, but I had a coupon for 50% off. Should I use the coupon and get the tires at $500 instead of $1,000? We use that analogy for a mortgage here. If we had a mortgage, okay, for let me see here. We had a mortgage at $300,000, okay, and I could. Now we're watching all of this. So you're watching us from. Oh, you're watching us from YouTube as well. So I've got $3,684 that I would pay this loan down by in 1 month, but it costs $17,899 to purchase this equity. When you get a loan, all you're doing is purchasing your equity. And in this case, it's a $300,000 loan at 6%. $300,000 at 6%. All right. And here are the payments. Principal, $289, $300, $301. You're purchasing your equity back from the bank in small installments of $300, just about $300 every single month. But guess what? To do that, it costs $1,500 in interest to do it. That's how the banks have it set up when you do it according to their timing. They're using the money that you should be putting towards wealth and paying interest with it. So we pointed out that if I'm buying this equity and it costs $17,899.80, why don't I do this? Take this money, if I have it, why don't I could pay it in 1 month instead of 12, over 12 months. If I could pay it in 1 month, I'm just saying if you could. I'm saying this is not what we're expecting people to do. I'm just saying if you could pay it in 1 month, now you're paid down to line 12 on your amortization schedule in 1 month, and it saves you $16,000, $16,464 in interest you don't have to pay. So instead of paying $17,000, almost $18,000 in interest, you're only paying the $1,500 on line 1 to get the same equity. So save money. What do we do with the $16,416.64 we didn't have to spend to get the same equity? We can invest it. Just track how much money you're saving. Pay off the debt, and then you save this much money. So let me give you an example of what we're talking about. What if we knew that the $347,000 that the bank wants, 347,514. Some of my clients are paying this amount of interest on a loan just like this. So we're going to divide it by, let's divide it by 3. Instead of paying $347,000 to get a $300,000 house, how about cutting it by 75% and only paying around $115,000 instead? What would you do minus 347,514? What would you do with the $231,000 you didn't have to spend to get the same equity? That's what we're talking about today, Save Money. That P.I.L.L method clients can save this kind of interest using their current budget. And if we could track that, now over the years, what if they were to invest that $231,000 instead of giving it to the bank? Oh my. So Miss Dahlia, if you are still listening, if you're still listening, do you see how easy it is? Do you see how easy it is now to find the extra money that people are saying, I don't have, just by tracking your income and your outgo? And then the program says, let's build that up over 2 or 3 months. Let's build some money up in your savings account and attack the debt from your savings account and not steal from your budget. Man,
I do.
Oh man.
I do. Thank you. And I will be contacting you. Thank you so much.
Miss Dahlia, I love the fact that you're here today. And this is not your first time here, but thank you for coming in and making and asking your questions, because you've actually helped a lot of people. Save Money has something here. Oh, Ian, what are you saying today? Says take you guys on a holiday. Listen, take your people on a holiday, folks. Invest. Take your folks on a holiday. Do something else with that interest money. Save Money has a comment, says, so are you saying to make the cumulative principal as a payment? Now, I'm saying that here's what happens when you prepay Save Money. I'm not saying this is what to do. Our program gives us exact instructions on what to do. But what I'm pointing out here, Save Money, is that people do not know how much interest they're actually saving by prepaying. So let's break this down step by step and creating the amount of money we want to save here. I see Lashana is back in here. I see Terrell is here today. I see Knight is here. Any of you that want to come to the stage and listen, please raise your hand. You don't have to say anything. Just come to the stage and Clubhouse here just to listen. I'm also going to take a look here at the comments. There's no new comments. So raise your hand, come to the stage to listen. When you do that, all of your followers get to see you on the stage, and it alerts them, and they'll come in to get information as well. All right. So here's what we're talking about. Okay. Let's just say this first payment, Save Money, is made in January. I made my January payment where $298.65 went to principal, and a whopping $1,500 went to interest. You're so welcome. You're so welcome, Save Money. So here's what we're doing. I'm just showing you what would happen if you knew what happened if you prepaid. It is this simple. You make your mortgage payment here. Now, the principal payment for the next month, let's say for February, is $300.14. So here's my question, Save Money. If I make my mortgage payment here in January, do I have to wait till February to give the bank this $300.14 on line 2? Do I have to wait till the next month to give them that? You can say yes or no. Okay. Do I have to wait till February to give them that money? Anybody can answer. Terrell says he wants to come to the stage. All right. He wants to listen from the stage. All right. Let's bring him on up. All right. And folks, Steve Mack says no. Lashana says no. All right. Save Money says depends on the loan. Not really. I'm talking about a mortgage here. We're talking about a mortgage. Do I have to wait till February to give the bank that $300.14? Okay. He says, but in theory, no. All right. I know what you're getting at. You're getting at maybe if there's a prepayment penalty, but I don't care about prepayment penalties. And I'll tell you why in a minute. Okay. Because I know how much interest I'm saving and I know how most prepayment penalties actually work. So in this case, if we were to prepay this, then we're paid down to line 2 in January. If we're paid down to line 2 in January, then our next mortgage payment is actually on line 3 of our schedule. The payment for March actually moves up one. So we got rid of one line on our amortization schedule for $300.14, not for the entire $1,798 that the bank is looking for. They're looking for $1,798.65 every month. So to get rid of line 2, I've got to give them the whole $1,700. But this way, if I make the first payment in January, I give them the $300.14 early. I'm down to line 3 on my amortization schedule where they get $301.64 and $1497.01 the next month. But what happened to this $1,498.51 in interest on line 2? I just saved that money. I never have to pay the bank. It's important to know when you prepay how much interest you're actually saving. And most of us didn't have a clue as to how much interest we were saving anytime we pay prepay principal. We just give it to the bank. They never send us a receipt saying, here's how much interest you saved. And what's even worse is that none of us have ever bothered to ask, I just gave you this extra money. How much interest did I actually save? Because we are not taught how to read this amortization schedule. We're just given it. So what I just explained to you, Save Money, here's what's great. Here's what's great. Can an 8th grader understand what I just showed you? Can an 8th grader understand that? Because I had an opportunity to talk to some 8th graders in Houston not too long ago. Can an 8th grader understand that if I prepay this, I don't have to pay that? Come on. Talk to me, everybody. The 8th graders ate it up. This is what I told them. Let me show you what's going on here. Let me show you the percentages that are going on here, that they're this kind of money that they're making. Your first interest payment is $1,500. Let me put this a calculator on the screen. Folks, is 8:39. We started this room at 7 a.m. All right. We started this room at 7 a.m. Central. It is now 8:40 Central. We may have to go all the way to 9 a.m. Central or 10 a.m. Eastern, but I'm going to try to cover all the questions here in the time that we have left. So here's what we're talking about. All right. We're looking at $1,500. Let me put that in. Here's how much interest we're paying, $1,500. Okay. And let me show you what's happening here. Here's our total payment of $1,798.65. So we're going to divide it by $1,798.65. This will tell us what percentage of our payment is interest. 83%. 83% of your payment is interest. I'm going to put it another way, and I've done this before. Out of every dollar you're paying towards your mortgage, 83 cents out of every dollar is going to the bank, out of every dollar. And you're buying your house out of every dollar with 17 cents out of every dollar. That's the system they have us on. They have us on a system where 83 cents out of my payment dollar goes to them because they bought the equity, and I'm buying my equity back at 17 cents out of every dollar. Folks, does that make sense to you when we break it down this way? When we can easily turn that around. We can easily turn that around by prepaying, taking money out of our savings account. Let me show you this. Okay, here's a little bit more math for you. Here's a little bit more math. If I prepay this $300.14, I save $1,498.51. So what is my return on investment when I invest that money in my mortgage and my time frame, when I choose the timing in which to give it to the bank? Let me show you the math on that. My return on investment is $1,498.51. That's interest I do not have to pay if I give them the $300.14 early. So let me divide it by $300.14. We have now, when I do this, I have to move the decimal decimal 2 places to give us the correct answer. Watch this. Move the 2 places to the right. That's a 499% return on your money when we use the bank system to our advantage. Oh my gosh. You know, I've got to play around with this thing now. I got to do something else. All right. So let's do a little error. Are you hearing that, folks? A 499% return on your money. That's interest you don't have to pay to get that equity normally. So let me ask the question. Normally, if every month I make a payment according to the bank, anytime I prepay, if I prepay the whole $300.14, I don't have to. I can give them $100. I can give them $50. I can give them $20. Okay, whatever. If I give them $300.14 early, I normally would have to give them $1,498.51 to get that equity. Here's my question. If I give it to them early and I don't have to pay that interest, did I just get my equity for free? Okay. Did I just get my equity for free? Listen, if you all want to see what was going on here, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube, search for the P.I.L.L method and watch this. All right. And click on our live. So save money. I got you here. What you're saying is, could you add the $298.65 to your first payment? Would that matter? Oh, yeah. Well, this is your first payment. This is your first payment. Okay. So this is your very first payment. You start out here at $300,000. Okay. And this is your first payment. Now, let me show you how the bank figures out what your first interest payment would be. And this will give you some insight. So we're going to take our calculator. We're going to figure out how the bank creates this interest money. Okay. This is how they do it. So I have a 6% interest rate. 6% interest rate. So if I click the interest button, it comes out like this. 0.06. They take the interest rate, they divide it by 12, and it comes out to 0.005. So they take 1/12 of the interest rate. This is 1/12 of the interest rate, and then multiply it by the balance, which is a whole $300,000 because I still owe $300,000. So now they're going to do this at $300,000. So we're going to multiply this, okay? Multiply it by 300,000. There it is, equals exactly $1,500. That's how they do it. They take 1/12 of the interest rate and multiply it by the balance 360 times. That's why. Oh, I'm asking in addition to the 17. Oh, no. This is the $1,700. This is the $298.65 and the $1,500 adds up to $1,798.65. This one also adds up to the same thing. A little more principal, a little less interest. All of these payments add up to $798.65. You must first make the payment of $1,798.65 before you can put money on principal in the same month, if that's what you're asking. Okay, so you must first make the whole payment on a mortgage, and then you can add money to principal, and that's what saves you the interest. All right. Night Star says, thank you, Dahlia, much appreciated. Okay, so folks, that's where we are, folks. That's where we are. So save money. Does that make it clearer? Does that make it clearer? I hope so. Thank you, everyone, for your comments and for your questions. So I'm going to take a little break here, folks. I'm going to take just a little break. I need to get a drink of water. All right. I need to get a drink of water. So if you noticed on my new business card here by ice10k.com, it says my video business card. It's my video business card. And the first video that you see there is of Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas is the #1 motivational speaker in the world right now. Okay. He's on YouTube. He's all over the place. He's on Instagram. He's talking to NFL teams. He's talking to all the sports teams. He's going to colleges. He's talking to Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies. Eric Thomas is a powerhouse. Okay. But Eric Thomas used the P.I.L.L method to pay off his mortgage. What? The most powerful speaker, motivational speaker in the world. Let's hear what he has to say about this, and then we'll come back with a little bit more.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
So folks, did you see that? Did you see that? Listen, the #1 motivational speaker in the world says he used the P.I.L.L method. Oh my gosh. That was such a great event that we had where we had Dr. Eric Thomas come in and speak at an event last year in May. And this is what he said. Oh man, it just blew us all away. But anyway, here's what we're talking about. If you want to save money like Eric Thomas and bring that peace of mind to your life, start understanding how loans really work and how insanely expensive they are to pay them according to the bank's methodology, and use our AI system, artificial intelligence, to guide you and your finances to zero debt in record time, saving 75 to 80% of the interest the bank wanted from you in the first place. It's like taking a coupon after you sign the mortgage. It's like taking a coupon to the bank, 75% off, and say, cash that baby in. I'm not going to pay you all the interest you're asking for. I'm just going to pay you. I'm going to pay you like 20, 25% of the interest you're asking for. I'm going to take the rest of that money and invest it in my family and grow our wealth, along with having the equity in my house completely bought back at 75% off. Oh, come on. That's what we're talking about today, folks. Ian has another question here. Great work, Don. This particular presentation recorded? Ian, the fact that you're watching it means that it's recorded. Okay? It's on YouTube. You can watch it from YouTube. Listen, send your client to my YouTube channel. They can search for P.I.L.L method. You can actually get the link and send it to them. Or they can go to Facebook, go to and find the P.I.L.L Method page on Facebook. We actually have two pages. We have a P.I.L.L Method Facebook page, and we have a group, an open group that's called A Better Way to Eliminate Debt. They can join the group as well. And all of these videos are there. All right. And Andrew Bailey says, where can I buy the P.I.L.L Method software? Okay, here's what we do. We do not sell it from our webpage, because we have to vet each client to make sure that they can be successful on our program. And here's why, Andrew. We guarantee the results. We guarantee the results. So whatever results we give you, then you can choose then to do business with us. Once you see what your results are, we're going to tell you upfront how much money you can save and the month, day, and year you can be debt free. And we will guarantee those results in writing. So how do you get those results? You can, we have it up on the screen here, is go to ice10k.com, ice10k.com, and click on the link. So if you're on stage right now, you can do that. Go to the link above, ice10k.com, go to the link, and then you will see a button that says, get your savings and earnings report, right under the video with Eric Thomas. Get your savings and earnings report. Click on that link, follow all the instructions, including putting your cell phone number in, and make sure there's no spaces when you put your cell phone number in. Don't create any spaces, okay? We already have the +1 there. Put your phone number in right next to the 1. Don't leave a space, okay? And then we'll get a code. Once you get that code, you put the code in, all right? Put the code in. And then we will let you into the financial form. Fill out the financial form. Our team will take a hold of that, confirm all the numbers with you, and then produce a savings and earnings report and set up a consultation. Then you will know the month, day, and year you can be debt free, how much interest you can save, and then we'll give you an indication on how much interest that money you saved, how much it can make for you if you were to invest it even at 1% return on your money. Oh my goodness. Even it says Andrew says thanks. Okay, folks, it's not just the AI system. It's not just the AI system. It is the education that goes along with it. The education that goes along with it is unique to the P.I.L.L method. No other company in the world has what we have. Okay? I don't care what kind of software they have. I don't care what kind of AI system they have. They don't have the education that comes from the P.I.L.L method and how to set the whole thing up. It is unique to us. And nobody saves you more interest than we do. All right, so go ahead, get that, and listen. Some of you are so excited you want to help other people. Oh, you can become an affiliate. Go to the same page and click on Become an Affiliate. Become an affiliate with a P.I.L.L method. Oh my gosh, it takes 15 seconds to sign up, and it's so easy. It takes 15 seconds to sign up and tell us how you want to get paid. All right. You can choose which methodology you want, the method you want to get paid. Now, all we're asking is that you send us people who have at least $100,000 in debt and a mortgage. All right. And then when you send those people to us, then once they become a client, you make $300. Now, how do you get them interested? You don't have to do any sales. You don't have to do anything. Just send them to the YouTube channel. Let them watch a few videos and follow up with them in 48 hours. And once you follow up with them, then if they're still interested, then you can fill out the card on my don10k.com. You can fill out the card there. I'm going to add a button to this as well as to how you can send us your referrals. I want to add the button to this as well. So I'll take care of that today. Tomorrow we'll have a new graphic. I mean, on Friday we'll have a new graphic. But anyway, So once they become, now here's how it works. The first person you send us in a month, we'll send you $300. If a second client in the month becomes the second person you send us becomes a client, then we'll send you $4. If the third person you send us in a month, we'll send you $500. The fourth person you send us in a month, we'll send you $600. And the fifth person you send us in a month, they become a client, $1,200, for a total of $3,000 in 1 month for becoming an affiliate. So fill out that affiliate form, folks. It's free. And send us your people. This is great stuff. Listen, folks, we're at the end of our time. I want to thank you so much for being here today. Friday, we're going to be right back here. And let me see. I've got to take a look at Fridays. What are we doing for Friday? And let me see here. Our program for Friday. I'll give you the title of it. And there we go. And Fridays is Debt is an Illusion. Managing Your Credit is the Truth. Debt is an illusion. Managing your credit is the truth. And on Sunday, we're going to be talking about real estate investors. All right. And how I am not going to stop doing this show. I'm not going to stop preaching this until homeowners and real estate investors can understand we're not talking about interest cost, but interest rate. We're all done, folks. We'll see you on Friday. Thank you so much for being here. And we're just going to go to our outro. All right, folks. See you. We'll talk to you on Friday. Bye-bye.